being here and for your support. And thank you to the Senator for helping me time and again in this and leading my campaign. Thank you, Ted. I gotta tell you how much I appreciate your coming by and getting a free sandwich today. That's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. Now, most of you have voted already. A few of you have not. And I want to make sure that people across Wisconsin get out and vote today. It looks beautiful outside. Maybe a little weather going by. Headed off to the Lake Michigan today, but plenty of good weather to get out and make sure and vote. And what time do the polls close tonight? 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock, so there's plenty of time. Get out and vote. If we have a good turnout, then I'll become the person who receives the Wisconsin delegates that I need to go on to become the nominee and finally take back the White House. So we've got the work to do. Now, the president has been busy over the last couple of days, doing what he likes to do a great deal, which is finding someone to blame for his own problems. If you're going by the gas station these days, it's kind of a frightening experience, and your credit card may max out. The pump may stop if it hits $100. If you got an SUV or a pickup truck, it's going to do like yours did, Congressman. It may hit $100. A lot of people are seeing $60, $70, $80 to fill up the tank of gas. You got a lot of folks, particularly single moms and people who are just working at the edge, that are having a hard time getting to and from work. This is a tough time, and so the president put an ad out yesterday talking about gasoline prices and how high they are. And guess who we blame? Me. Well, maybe after I'm president, I can take responsibility for things I might have done wrong, but this president doesn't want to take responsibility for his mistakes. I mean, talk about someone who is running as far away from Harry Truman's dictum as possible. Harry Truman had the sign on his desk that said, "The buck stops here." But this president is always looking for somewhere else to point. And so he talks about how oil production is up during his term, which of course has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with his predecessors opening up land for leases and permits, and also for drilling going on private land, which he hasn't been able to stop yet. And so during his term, by the way, the number of leases on government land, that's been cut in half. Number of permits given to people to drill, that's been cut to 1/3 of what it was before. He was the one that stopped the drilling in the Gulf, that said no to drilling in Anwar, no to drilling in the Outer Continental Shelf. That this is a person who has done everything he can to make it harder to take advantage of our fossil fuels in this country, from coal to gas to natural gas. And if we're going to have an American policy that keeps our energy dollars in America and keeps us from being beholden to the cartel in the oil world, well, we're going to have our own resources. And if I'm president of the United States, rather than saying no to oil and gas and coal, and also no to the pipeline from Canada, I will say yes to those. Get that pipeline open and get it out. And I can tell you this as well. If I become president of the United States, I will undoubtedly not get everything perfect. There may be some things that don't work out as well as I'd hoped. I will acknowledge that. I will say that I take responsibility for what goes well and what doesn't. I know the president's going to try and take credit for everything that happens in America that's good. I know that feeling when the Red Sox won the World Series. I want to say that's me, all right? But I didn't say that. But this president is unwilling to take responsibility for his mistakes. And he's going to be looking everywhere he can to find someone else to blame. I think his speech today on the economy will be interesting. I read yesterday in the Wall Street Journal an article by an economist who said that the recovery, that the speed of this recovery is the slowest in history, including the recovery from the Great Depression. This president's policies have not encouraged the private sector to grow and hire. And so today, instead of standing up and saying, as the president, his policies have not worked, he of course will look for someone else to blame. Maybe he'll look for the party that had no power whatsoever for the first 2 years of his administration. Maybe he'll say, oh, it's the Republicans. But, you know, he had a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate for his first 2 years. He gets full credit or blame for what's happened in this economy, and what's happened to gasoline prices under his watch, and what's happened to our schools, and what's happened to our military forces. All these things are his responsibility while he's president. It's time to have someone who will take responsibility, and if I'm president, I will not only get things right again, I'll take responsibility for my errors and make sure that people understand we have a president in the White House again where the buck will stop at his desk. You guys, I want to thank you for coming by. I want to thank you for voting. Get your friends to go vote. Get some friends to go with you. That's how you can legally vote multiple times. So bring your friends to the polling place, get out and vote, and if you want another sandwich, there's more back there. Thanks, you guys. Great to be with you.